In a realm where truth is paramount, gender ideology has been labeled as insane, poisonous, and destructive, leading to fervent opposition. The opposition stems from the fundamental fact that it lacks truth. Anything devoid of truth is met with resistance. The intensity of this resistance is contingent upon the strength with which falsehoods are asserted. This departure not only assaults the realms of science and biology, but delves even deeper to assail our understanding of ourselves.
Key points.
Opposition to gender ideology. The author vehemently opposes gender ideology, which is described as insane, poisonous, and destructive. Flight from reality. The societal consequences of embracing untruths and how this can affect our understanding of the world and ourselves. Lack of self-knowledge. Gender ideology doesn't offer a new notion of the self, but rather replaces one's understanding of the self with no notion at all.
Gender ideology is insane. It is poisonous. It is destructive.
Gender ideology is insane. It underscores concerns about challenges to traditional gender norms. It is poisonous. It is destructive. These words emphasize the perceived harmful effects of the gender ideology on society.
And that's why I oppose it. I oppose it fundamentally because it is not true.
I oppose it fundamentally because it is not true. Esteems conventional interpretations of reality and the concept of objective truths.
And I oppose all things that are not true. It's really as simple as that. How stridently or forcefully I oppose something really depends on how stridently or forcefully the false thing is asserted. So if somebody comes along claiming that a circle is a shape with 4 equal straight sides and 4 right angles, I will just say, no, that's a square. Squares are not circles. If there were to arise a well-coordinated and well-funded movement to convince the world that geometry is fluid and that squares are circles and circles are squares, and if this movement managed to convince millions of people, especially young people, there are many bad things that follow from our society's collective flight from reality. And the consequences are more dire the more deeply those untruths burrow into the mind and into the culture. Knowledge of ourselves. Now, it's an assault on science. It's an assault on biology.
Knowledge of ourselves. The influence of gender ideology on individuals' self-perception. An assault on science, an assault on biology. It mirrors apprehensions regarding perceived threats to the scientific and natural underpinnings.
But even deeper than that is an assault on our knowledge of ourselves. He doesn't understand the world. He doesn't understand the world outside of himself, and he doesn't understand himself either. And the thing is that gender ideology doesn't simply replace one notion of the self with some other newer notion.
Gender ideology doesn't simply replace one notion of the self with some other newer notion. This implies that gender ideology not only challenges conventional notions of identity, but also replaces them with an emptiness.
Rather, it replaces one notion of the self with no notion at all. And that is the whole reason why the gender ideologue cannot answer the what is a woman question, cannot answer any questions about his own ideology, because there is no answer there.
There is no answer there. This could signify worries regarding the possible erosion of clarity and significance in one's sense of self. The highlighted phrases underscore Matt Walsh's vehement opposition to gender ideology, which he views as a challenge to established societal norms, truth, and self-perception. Matt Walsh articulates values rooted in traditional concepts of gender, science, and self-identity, accentuating his apprehension regarding the societal consequences of what he regards as a deviation from objective truth and a lack of clarity in understanding oneself. The statement you've shared expresses a strong opposition to what Matt Walsh calls gender ideology. This opposition to what they perceive as an assault on science, biology, and self-knowledge reflects the intensity of the emotional response. Matt Walsh seems to view the acceptance of gender ideology as a collective flight from reality, potentially with dire consequences, especially for young people. In recent news related to the topic, there are ongoing debates and discussions about gender identity, expression, and the rights of transgender individuals. The key point here is the clash between those who oppose what they view as gender ideology and those who advocate for a more inclusive understanding of gender. It's a sensitive issue, touching on deeply held beliefs about self-identity and societal values, and it continues to be a point of contention in public discourse. Absolutely, this is about valuing truth and authenticity. The authors are against what they call gender ideology because they see it as untrue. They believe it's important for individuals to define their own values and live by them, but it's also crucial to protect minors. Matt Walsh's opposition to these ideologies is about exercising freedom, the freedom to reject ideas that don't align with your values and understanding of reality, not about hatred.
What do you think?
I promote myself and my videos. Hello, I'm Bong Sim, a Canadian resident of Asian descent. During the day, I work as a professional counselor, and at night, I do Uber food delivery. Instead of speaking in my videos, I prefer to express myself through writing. In today's world, speaking the truth can have serious consequences, both for my professional life and personal well-being. That's why I'm choosing to pen down my thoughts and using a platform to share them on my behalf. Some people find my videos uninteresting, too strict, and they even criticize the appearance of the individuals featured, including their tiredness, Asian, or perceived flaws. I understand these concerns, but I genuinely believe in the purpose behind creating these videos. Unfortunately, recent Canadian legislation has resulted in the censorship of free speech and online content. And although Google hasn't explicitly admitted their involvement, I suspect they play a part in it. Despite my efforts to monetize my content on YouTube, I haven't been able to earn any income from it. I've tried 3 times, and all my attempts were rejected. They turned me down for reasons like lacking creativity, not having a recognizable face, or not having a distinct voice. Nevertheless, I've made several adjustments to my videos, hoping to overcome these challenges. If you share my belief and support what I'm doing, I would genuinely appreciate your backing.